guys, from Crypto Setups here, and welcome back. Today's DeFi tutorial is brought to you by Icon Plus. I wanted to do a quick revisit on Harvest Finance. So I had created a fair bit of content around this when they just started out, and when you come back and visit the team, they've been working so quickly. They've added so many vaults that I thought, you know what, let's come back, let's revisit what Harvest Finance looks like, what kind of vaults they offer, what opportunities exist, and in general, what they've been up to. I also then want to just, when I'm talking through the various vaults, as you can see here, I want to show you some quick ways you can figure out when you see some of these new vaults, what you can do to figure out how you can access some of these vaults and make it simpler for yourself. Okay, so what is Harvest Finance? Harvest Finance exists because what we had was this yield farming craze. So we had various protocols like your compounds and curve and uniswap and 1inch. They all decided after establishing themselves they'll start releasing their own governance tokens, and the way you either qualified was via retro drop, which was fantastic for existing users, or by supplying liquidity or using these protocols in question. Harvest Finance came along and said, okay, well, if you use us and deposit in these protocols, rather than you having to individually use, say, Uniswap and keep claiming the token when you've gotten some rewards, and spend all that gas each claim you go to do, and then decide if you want to sell it, you spend gas again, and it starts costing you a little fortune to harvest the $10 you would have made. Harvest Finance came along and said, you know what, our platform specializes in you deposit all your assets, we will automatically go and every day claim what is there and sell it and put the rewards back into what you originally deposit. So it's kind of automated the entire process, saving everyone on gas. And at the same time, for using the platform, they take a little percentage in profit, and that profit gets distributed to the farm token holders. And the way you become a token holder is by literally using their platform, which they have a distribution, emissions rate, which has dropped substantially, and hence why you can see the value of farm holding. And at the same time, including whatever tokens vaults you use, whatever tokens is harvest, it gets sold and adds to the overall profit. So that's a very quick summary. I actually will show you the process by using some vaults and what they are to help everyone kind of run through and feel familiar when if you wanted to use this website to take part in some of these yield farming strategies. So first thing you'll see is the site's changed a lot and they revise it a lot. And the best part is a lot of the community in their Discord have worked together to supply updates, and they integrate these pieces, which is just great. It's real good vibe in there. So looking at this, what you can see, rather than everything being listed, they've all got their own categories now, specializing in stablecoins, BTC, ETH 2.0. There's a vault for that. That'll be interesting. 1inch, we know that 1inch has a huge mining program going on along with SushiSwap, and you can use Harvest Finance to take part in those mining programs. I personally believe if you're not interested in mining and holding the native token, Harvest Finance just makes this process cheaper and simpler. So let's take a look. There's a lot here. What happens? Let's expand it. I've created this nifty, and you can see these are the various vaults around all the variations of stablecoins, and my god, there are many. You can see that while giving a total percentage, it shows you what that is comprised of in terms of what token. Now remember, in this visual, you will end up getting farm rewards for you to do as you feel, either hold or sell later. But part of the strategy would include, once you deposit, it would automatically be harvesting the rewards you earn based on how much you've deposited and selling it and adding it back to your amount. And that's how that percentage is worked out. So you would slowly see your balance tick up over time as you earn more and more rewards depending on what you put into the vault. So, well, at this kind of rate, if you look at it per year. Um, so, here are your various stablecoins. Now, if you're looking at this and first thing comes to mind, oh my God, what the heck is? Let's find the higher ones. What is this BUSD curve? You can hover over it and it tells you visit curve, and you deposit your stablecoin in it. Now, one of the in my old tutorial you would have seen that I actually, rather than going to the individual protocol site, I encouraged to look through Zappa, and Zappa recently has updated quite a lot of their links to different pools, and I encourage everyone to kind of use that process because it is much simpler. So you're always then using two consistent views, which is Harvest Finance and Zappa. You don't need to get to a new platform and try and figure out what's going on there. So let's jump across to Zappa. As you can see, I was, which coin did I reference? I said, let's look at the HUSD. So when you're in Zappa, make sure you're connected to your wallet as usual, standard process there, and head over to Pool. There'll be dashboard that gives you your overview. Head over to Pool. There'll be a lot. There's a lot. If let's remove this, you can see it just 65 pages. You don't want to go through that. So what you can do to quickly find it is, okay, curve HUSD. So let's just type HUSD and see what pops up. I have 3. Yep. So I know it's HUSD curve because that's what Harvest Finance is telling me. So you can add liquidity, and you can see over here that why I also like what it gives you is what I was getting at, the token, but why I really like this is I don't have to go in with the stablecoin. I could just have ETH in my wallet or another stablecoin, and Zappa will just do everything for me. Perhaps if you're moving a, a completely different asset, it'll take over the transaction in one go and cost a little bit more, but it just simplifies the whole process. So in this example, I could go. I'm not going to run through with it, but I could put this, and I know that I'm going to the curve. I want, see, there's all the various ones. I could go to the 3 pool, which would give me the 3 pool tokens, or in the purpose of this, let's go back to HUSD. You can see that I'm moving my ETH. Now, just for the purpose, because I'm moving a stable coin, let's say I had DAI. Yeah, so the reason I'm getting probably less is due to the what's the word I'm looking for the peg. Yes, but 45 DAI, which is American dollars and American dollars here, so I'm kind of ending up with the same, and then go through the process, and essentially I would end up with this token. Once I have it, I can head back to Harvest Finance, and just going back here, which one? HUSD, yep, head back here. Automatically, once I have the token, it will appear over here. So to give you an idea, I didn't realize my wallet wasn't connected, so let's connect my wallet. And now you can see it's loading up, and straight away what you'll notice is any of the vaults that you have the native token in your wallet that it supports, it will pop up that I can put in. So you could see that I didn't have any HUSD, and I wanted to do that, hence I showed you the Zappa route. But you may have been thinking, but if you're going to move DAI, why would you do that? And you're right. Really, I should just deposit my DAI. It was just me giving an example of if you walked into here just with ETH, you could use Zappa to move it straight into a stable coin if that's what you want to do, give up your asset, because you'd be essentially selling your ETH into this stable coin and then coming here and depositing it. Okay, so each of these, this field harvest, it implies what is being utilized by the strategy, what it's harvesting. So you can see here that in some of these, especially this 52, it is harvesting curve, SNX, and giving you a farm reward. So it would sell these and keep adding it to your base deposit, and at the same time you would keep generating farm, which you can claim in another page. So that's a bit around the stable coins and how you could use Zappa. Uh, ETH2, I found this very interesting. Now, if you didn't know about this, there's, where you can go and move your ETH1 into into ETH2. And what this is you can deposit then that ETH into Curve. Again, you can use the same strategy over here. Let's head on. I'm looking for SETH, and it is literally here, SETH Curve. And so even over here, if I wanted to just move my 1 ETH, you can see it's a little lower than what I would get there. Let's do a higher amount. See, so all it is that this SETH is representing ETH that is staked on the beacon chain for ETH2. So when I have that, I would do this. I would get that ETH into my wallet, and as soon as I went back into Harvest Finance, you would see that I would have that amount here. And what I can do then is deposit it into this strategy, and automatically it will go to work. Once you deposit it, obviously then you stake it as well, and it will go to work harvesting this and earning me that kind of percentage per year. The longer I leave it in there, it'll be a true reflection. This percentage changes depending on the price of the asset which it's selling. So if the market starts to go down, you'll probably notice this percentage drop because those profits aren't as high. That's the general rule of it. So you got a bunch of BTC vaults. You got your 1 inch. Now there's a lot going on there. One of the things to keep in mind, so for 1 inch is a good example, the stablecoin vaults are good because it is a stablecoin, dollar per dollar. You're harvesting, it's adding to your stablecoin. Some of the other vaults that give you these crazy percentages, they are usually where you have to pair it and supply liquidity in Uniswap. So if that's the case, do your own research. Make sure that you are happy if you do suffer impermanent loss, which is, if the price of a certain asset starts to skyrocket, you would lose out over there. If you haven't done, please do research. I've done some videos explain the impermanent loss and actually shown a bit of a scenario how it can happen. And these particular vaults, ETH versus the dollar, especially with ETH mooning, it could be subject to impermanent loss. Again, though, sometimes the amount you have in there and the profits you're getting from the selling off the 1 inch token and adding it back into your pool may negate that effect, and by the time the price drops you may come out with a lot more. So there's a lot to consider there, and there are risks, but make sure you know that if you're pairing with something in Uniswap, unless it's stable to stable or ETH to ETH, there's always a risk of you coming out with less than what you went in if there's substantial changes to the prices. You got SushiSwap, Uniswap. This is just the 3 pools, so you can see over here if you wanted to provide a bit of liquidity. I actually wanted to quickly wrap up the video with this particular. I found this extremely interesting, and it was great to see Harvest Finance just jump on board with some of the new innovations coming out. So we have Luna's mirroring platform that essentially brings on chain stocks on chain, and Harvest Finance have created a strategy where you can provide liquidity to Uniswap against a mirrored asset, which is Apple or Amazon, Google, Tesla, essentially basically shares, but you don't have to worry about the stock market, you're buying it on chain. And obviously Luna and they have their own governance token, so the strategy revolves around you supplying liquidity. Again, what I said earlier is there is risk if you have certain assets moon or drop from an impermanent loss perspective, but your stocks are generally a little more stable than generally, apart from Tesla, are a little more stable than your cryptocurrencies. So this is quite cool. And what's even better is you can follow this process. Again, it's a new protocol for Mirror going in. Where do you go? Who do you do? What do you touch? Best part, just come over to Zappa and just type. Here we go. So, and again, cross-reference what you're doing, because over here you can clearly see that it tells you that you have to first go through this process. After you acquire it, then you provide the liquidity. Um, but what you can do here is literally come into Zappa and add liquidity from your one token, and it will split it. So if I had ETH, I could do 5 ETH, and you can see it will automatically break it in the even where it needs it, and it will put it into the pool, which simplifies the whole process. Then I can come into Harvest Finance and stake the LP. Generally, there's a two-step process. So once you've added it on the main page, you can actually pick the deposit and stake, and then it'll just run through it. Or if you deposit, you come into stake, and the representing LP you stake in here. So for example, over here, you would come into, I was giving this as an example, once you've staked it to earn your farm, this is to earn the farm, you would come in and then stake it. Now they are high in what you earn. They've got a higher rewards distribution rate for the farm token that goes to it. But yeah, so I feel it's quite an interesting and unique vault that they have. A few other quick things I wanted to show. So some of the community stuff, when it's connected to your wallet, you can get a lot of detail analytics, even just showing what you have, what you're earning, and laid a few other links. They have a dashboard, which is if you click on the dashboard, it'll bring you to this, and it gives you a real breakdown of what's going on with the charts, the various coins, the vaults, how much is locked in there. Um, yeah, and this is all the community has been pitching in. You can see how many users, the percentage of income, the profit that gets sent to the farm token, which brings me to the actual farm token. One of the best parts of this protocol is the farm token that gets minted as you use. It has a base, so that it's not infinite. Last I checked, there was 600,000. I just can't remember that number, but it's close to that. And the best part is it is a profit sharing token, so you can clearly see here what happens as you stake your farm tokens, and as every harvest is done where it groups everything together and sells it, a percentage is used to buy back farm off the market and distribute it to people who have farm staked. So I have been staking farms since early days of the protocol, and it has been quite the profitable experience. So, and it may not always be like that for everyone, but my personal experience has been quite positive. I haven't looked at the price, even though while shooting this video, we are now seeing those highs again. And the final part of this is, by the time I get this video out, there'll probably be another vault. This is what's great about this protocol. They're very quick. Yeah, they have had there had been a hack in between. However, they implemented this grain token with the clear strategy of how they could compensate their users over time. And they've been, at the forefront of audits and ensuring that their protocol is safe. Their communication to the community is brilliant, and overall, it's great to see. Even in a booming market, we have a huge TVL returning to use the platform, and that is because they've just got so many strategies. Like, this ETH2 strategy is fantastic. You still get your exposure to ETH, and at the same time, it would sell your keeping and remembering how those strategies work. It would sell the tokens and add to your ETH count, and everyone wants to stack more ETH, so it's a brilliant strategy. So I'm going to wrap this video up here. I know rather than actually running through a scenario, I've done a lot of talking. However, I'm really hoping through the talking you've seen what I have done to cross-reference via Zappa and simplify the process of jumping into many of these strategies rather than going to the 1inch protocol or going to Curve or going to the site that you need to go to for this protocol, as you can see what I'm trying to get at. So thanks for watching. If you're enjoying my content, click the subscribe button, and yeah, until next video.